Rams House, welcome into a brand new episode of the Rams Report. Guys, on today's show, I want to answer a burning question around this team. Who's ahead in the QB2 competition coming out of the first week of the preseason, the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and as we roll into our second week here, big joint practice against the Saints and a big game against them. Let's answer that question. So, like I said, today's show, we're going to be trying to answer who is the backup quarterback to Matthew Stafford. As always, we're presented by Prize Picks. Guys, sign up for Prize Picks with code HMA, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you can get $150 in bonus lineups if you win. But if you're fired up about Ty Simpson's Rams debut, guys, drop a like on today's video, because how could you not be fired up about what number 15 was able to go out there and do in his first NFL action? He looked absolutely fantastic. We're gonna spend a lot of time on today's show comparing these two quarterbacks. But I just want you to look at the numbers and not even necessarily to stack them against each other. I just kind of want you guys to see them both at the same time here. 84% completion percentage for Ty Simpson, 190 yards for Ty Simpson, 2 touchdowns for Ty, 125 flat QB rating, and a 5.3 average depth of target. Stetson, on the other hand, 66% completion percentage, which, mind you, that is still very solid. 38 yards, not as efficient with the football, but neither of these guys were incredibly efficient with the football, if we're being honest. No touchdowns, no picks. Drives didn't really go anywhere. An 84 quarterback rating and 3.2 average depth of target. We'll dive deeper on both of them in just one second, but I want you to understand that every game in this process is incredibly important to the evaluation process. Every day in this Rams, as they lead into this season with Ty and Stetson, every single day is incredibly important. Sean McVay spoke on that. If you don't believe me, here's your head coach. We continue to evaluate. I think really you have to be considerate of what kind of situations Stetson was placed in. I thought with the circumstances that he was placed in, he did a nice job with those parameters. Obviously, Ty had the majority of the game, got 25 attempts to be able to throw the football, but I thought he did a really good job overall, and I thought Stetson, he kind of didn't say this, but I think he meant Stetson did so as well with what he had. I'm not going to lie, I kind of don't necessarily, and you got to understand with Sean McVay, sometimes he's prone to the coach speak. He's never going to put down any of his players publicly. I just can't really agree that I think Stetson did that well with what he had, though. To be completely honest, my takeaway from watching Stetson Bennett, my primary takeaway from the couple drives we saw of number 13 leading this offense, was he just wasn't that impressive. I just wasn't that impressed with what I saw from Stetson in a year where I really, really wanted to be. In a year where we've heard all these great things about Stetson in the lead up to this. In a year where we've heard Sean McVay say he's showing tremendous growth. It feels like he has the edge in the QB2 competition over our incoming first-round draft pick because of all the experience he has with the system, because of the work he's done with Nate Scheelhaase, because of the work he's done independently. It was supposed to be different, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't. I watched that tape. I rewatched every snap of it last night. I sat down and went through again my third time rewatching that game. I'm kind of a psycho with the way I rewatch preseason games. I'm just ready for Rams football. But when I'm watching Stetson, what am I seeing? Missed opportunity. I watch the main play that sticks out to me. It's a bootleg. He fakes it to Jarquez Hunter. He rolls out. And what does he see? He sees two options. He's got Max Clare down the field, 20-yard gain if he's willing to take the chance, if he's willing to layer the ball in over a linebacker, but he isn't willing to do it. He doesn't trust his arm. So what does he do instead? He takes the check down. It's a lack of confidence. That comes from a lack of confidence. That was there. You could have gained 20. You gained 10. That's a negative play from our quarterback at the end of the day. Even though it doesn't look like one, even though it doesn't show up like one, That's the reality. And we're going to keep talking about that in 1 second. But before we do, I got to let you guys know about the sponsor of today's video. That is America's #1 sports picks app. Guys, the good people over at Prize Picks. If you've ever watched the Rams Report before, I know you know all about Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. And my favorite way to get in on the sports action, to turn my ball knowledge into cash. Guys, one of the things I love about Prize Picks is when I'm putting together my lineups. Today is Tuesday. You know, I'm a Prize Picks avid user. I'm placing lineups every day. And every Tuesday, I get really excited because they offer these discounted taco projections. So, guys, check this out. This is my lineup for today. It's 10 to win 145. We've only got 3 projections on here. I took 2 demon picks, and I took the taco pick on Kelsey Mitchell as well, which is a discounted points projection for her. So that lineup just makes it a little bit easier for me to cash on that one. I love the fact that Prize Picks offers things like Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday on Fridays as well, and other awesome promotions for their users all the time. It's one of the many reasons they are my favorite way to get in on daily fantasy, and they should be your guys' as well. And if you're a brand new user, make sure you take advantage of the new user offer that Prize Picks has. Guys, if you play your first $5 lineup and win, you can get $150 in bonus lineups if you use code HMA. Guys, that's code HMA at sign up on Prize Picks to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win that first $5 lineup. Guys, thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. We always appreciate them. Let's get back to our discussion of Stetson Bennett. Because again, I know we've got a lot of Stetson fans in the audience. I know you guys are out there. And I respect it. I do. I respect that element of it. I respect you wanting to see Stetson succeed. I want to see Stetson succeed as well. But I also am a fan of the Rams before I am a fan of any one individual member of this football team. If you guys aren't that way, then we're just not the same on that front. And my thought process, my reality that I keep confronting when I look at this quarterback competition is Stetson does not give us the best opportunity. I'm right now, when I watch Ty and Stetson both go out there, Ty looks so much better. Ty, so much more confident. I don't know that anyone could watch those two guys go out there and play and say Stetson looked anywhere near as confident in the huddle, as confident with the operation as Ty did. And I think that matters a lot when you remember who these guys are. Stetson Bennett has played years of football at the highest levels. He's played at collegiately. He won 2 national championships. He was a multi-year starter at Georgia. He has been on the Rams roster for now 3 years. He's never seen action in an NFL game, but this is his 4th season starting in the preseason, seeing action in the preseason. And he just doesn't look like he's taking steps forward. Ty Simpson played 15 games at the college level as a starter. This is his first time ever wearing this uniform or any other NFL uniform and playing in a real game, and he goes out there and he looks like a vet. He looks like a seasoned vet. I was stunned. I expected him to look good. I didn't expect him to look that good, if I'm being completely honest. And I've been a big Ty supporter. I know I freaked out when we first made the pick. I know I had my initial reaction, but ever since that day, I have been a huge Ty supporter. But even I, Ty supporter I am, did not expect him to go out there and look that good. So I think it opens up this question, and I want your answer to it. Who should be QB2? Ty Simpson or Stetson Bennett? Drop a like on today's video if you think it's Ty Simpson. Let me know in the comments why you think it should be Stetson Bennett if you believe it should be Stetson. But I want to know, Ramily, where do we stand? And let's keep discussing it, because here we go. I think there's a couple criticisms that people have laid into on Ty's performance. One of them is everything he did well came off play action. Is that true? No. Off play action, Ty Simpson completed an 88 nearly % of his passes for 83 yards, 10.4 yards per attempt. He had 8 attempts off of play action, of which he completed 7. What did he do off of play action? Tore him up. 82.3% completion percentage, 107 yards, 6.2 yards per attempt, and 2 tubs. Does that look like someone who is entirely reliant on play actions numbers? I don't think so. That looks like a quarterback who can operate in both settings, at least in that game. And again, we are working off of a one-game sample here. That's the reality of this conversation. This is a one-game sample for Ty. It's not a one-game sample for Stetson. I don't think you can say that. But it is a one-game sample for Ty Simpson. But the reality, again, I got to go back to it. It's all about the operation, right? This is a Rams roster that is good enough that if anything were to happen to Matthew Stafford, what it comes down to is, can you manage the situation? Can you keep us out of trouble? Can you move the football effectively? Can you make the right decision? Can you be trusted to do so? Can you come in and lead the huddle confidently and gain the trust of those around you? Do they look to you as a leader if something were to happen to Matthew Stafford? And what did it look like with Ty in that huddle, guys? Looked like a leader to me. Looked like someone who was encouraging his teammates, someone who was elevating the talent of second, third, and fourth stringers on this roster into an offense that marched down the field on guys who've played in Super Bowls. That's incredibly impressive. That's incredibly impressive. His first NFL action, playing alongside third and fourth stringers, guys who are going to fight their ass off to make this 53, but a lot of which will not, and he still marched them down for 2 touchdown drives. What else can you say? But where does it leave us? That's what we've got to answer next on today's show. Where does this performance from Ty Simpson, from Stetson Bennett, leave us in this QB competition? We're going to answer that coming up on today's episode of the Rams Report. But before we do that, I got to let you guys know about SeatGeek, the sponsor of today's video. They are presenting today's show. We absolutely appreciate them. They are my number one way to get out to live events, guys. When the weather gets hot, and believe me, it is really hot here in Dallas right now. The number one thing I like to do when I'm sweating like this is get out to a live event. I want to go see something, whether it's a sports game, whether it's a concert with my fiance. I've been looking into tickets. I know SeatGeek will always have me covered. If I was looking into Rams tickets as well out at SoFi Stadium, the great thing is I can access their team ticket page and I can see all of the options for every single game at SoFi this year. If I wanted to go to the home opener against the New York Giants, just click in on that one and I can see all of their ticket options. And here's where things get awesome on SeatGeek. They rank every ticket on a scale of 1 to 10, so I know exactly how good the deal is. They also color code those deals as well. So if you're not a numbers guy, I never have been, never will be, you could just look at the colors as well. But make sure you also take a look, my friends, at the seat view. SeatGeek also has custom seat views for every seat in the stadium that show you exactly what it's going to look like when you get in there. So you make sure that your seat is the seat that you want it to be. And to make sure you save some money as well, I've got a code for you. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring today's show. All right. So, again, you can listen to me all day long, but I think listening to our head coach is probably the most effective thing as far as like where the decision is right now. A large part of that decision, as far as who's going to play in week 2 of the preseason, this is the question, will be predicated on what happens on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. We'll talk about that in a second. And then a lot of it, especially with what happens on Thursday. I'm hopeful that we're able to get as many reps as we did against Dallas. New Orleans has a practice against the Cowboys on Tuesday. Hopefully they come out of that thing healthy. And we're able to get what Kellen Moore, and I have talked about as the workload for our 1s and 2s. That'll be great situational work and great ability to be able to move the ball all over the field. Okay, so a lot to take away, a lot to unpack from what Sean McVay said there. Let's start with the first thing he pointed out. Today, Tuesday, he said a lot of this will be predicated on what happens on Tuesday. So what is happening on Tuesday? Well, today is a practice rest day for Matthew Stafford. So all reps today will be divided between Ty Simpson and Stetson Bennett. So it's a great opportunity for the staff to evaluate the two of them. And I bet you it's going to be a closer to 50-50 split than it's been in the past for those two guys. It's going to be a lot more reps for Ty Simpson. So the tests coming up for these two guys begin today. Today's practice is test number 1. It's a huge one. I really do believe so. The next test, though, is the next thing he hinted at as joint practice on Thursday. That's another really big one, and it's probably less so for Ty than it is for Stetson. Because what did Sean say? This will be an opportunity if we can come in healthy, the way we've talked about with Kellen Moore, Saints head coach, if you're not familiar with that name. We want to have our 1s and 2s get the reps. Right now, Stetson Bennett is still number 2 on this quarterback depth chart. The unofficial depth chart lists him that way. I believe that is who he is referring to. There's probably still going to be some opportunity for Ty here, just like there was against the Cowboys, probably a little bit more based off his performance in the preseason. But I think really this is a test for Stetson Bennett. Go show us something against the Saints 2s. Go look way better than you did last week in the preseason. Because if he can't, I think you're going to see this final test become, the importance of it's just going to go way up, right? Like, if Stetson can't wow in the joint practice, then preseason week 2 may genuinely be half and half split, where Stetson plays the first half and Ty plays the second half as this Rams coaching staff continues to evaluate the two of these guys and who gives them a better chance to win now. I know we all want to see more from Ty Simpson. I know we all want to just watch Ty Simpson play every minute of these games. But the reality of it is, if Stetson's playing more, it's actually, as crazy as it sounds, a good thing for Ty Simpson. Because the more Stetson plays, the less confident this coaching staff is in his ability to be QB2. They're testing him more. If he isn't playing, it's because they feel confident in him. Today, to back up and go with a different example, to reframe this real quick, I was tweeted at by Jake Ellenberg. Shout out to Jake. He asked me, why do you think A.J. Arcuri did not play in week 1 of the preseason? Is it because A.J. Arcuri is locked on this roster? Is it because Ronnie Rivers, who also did not play, are they both locked on this roster? He mentioned both of them. And I think they're a great kind of comparison here, right? Arcuri, I think you can say he's locked on this roster. Not because he's going to be a fantastic contributor to the starting lineup, but because the Rams are very comfortable with what Arcuri brings as depth. Jimmy G last season, he did not play in the preseason because there was concern about Matthew Stafford, and the Rams knew what Jimmy G would bring as depth. So they gave those opportunities to Stetson. If they were 100% confident in Stetson as the backup quarterback, he wouldn't have started last week, and he certainly would not be playing this week. I don't think there's a chance, or I think there's still a chance that he can earn his way out of playing this week or earn his way into playing a very limited amount of snaps. But if he's playing more, then all it tells me is Ty Simpson is pushing for this QB2 job. And he damn well should be. Because again, you go back to how well he played. You go back to how good this kid looked in his first NFL action. I just don't know how you could walk away from that and be anything other than really fired up about what the Rams got here. Of course it's a small sample. Of course we're far from being fully discovered of what Ty Simpson is going to be. It's not going to look like this every day. Absolutely not. But the fact that we know it can, the fact that we know when things go right for Ty, it can look like this. Oh man. I cannot wait to watch him develop. We're not going to get to see him in the regular season in an ideal circumstance, but these preseason games are our opportunity as Rams fans to evaluate him. He is the future of this franchise if everything goes correctly, and I really think he's showing us right now he's further along in his development than anybody thought he was. I expect to continue to see that from him throughout the preseason, no matter how much he's playing, no matter what the split looks like from Stetson, and I cannot wait to watch him again against the Saints in week 2. But guys, if you haven't already, make the call for me here. I asked you once, but I'm asking you again as we get out of here. Who do you think should be at QB2? If you're rolling with Ty, give me a like on today's video. If you're going with Stetson, let me know in the comments why you think it should be Stetson. I'll be replying as always. I think they're both valid answers. For what it's worth, obviously I'm leaning Ty, but I totally understand if you're still in the Stetson camp right now. I just want to hear why. I want to chat it up with you like we always do in the comments. Thanks for watching, Ramily. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.